Now you are so not going to do this. I did this morning because I got lazy. My arm was starting to hurt. I was like, Chief J. Don't ever call him Chief J, ever. It's disrespectful. Okay, while Chief J and Joseph Bruchac both use detailed backing to I'm going to pause. We're going to go really step by step. Where is backing? Backing's brown. Where should I underline over here? Backing. We said backing, and then what do I underline? Detailed backing. We're going to put an adjective before backing. How come? What does that show about me as a writer and me as a student with understanding this?
That you know what you're doing.
Yep, that I know what I'm doing. You always put an adjective before the term. Always put an adjective before the term, okay? Because then it's showing you're not just plugging in symbol. Teacher taught me symbol, plug it in. It's showing that you really understand what kind of symbol's being used, okay? So, while Chief Joseph and Joseph Bruchac both use detailed backing to demonstrate the actualities of their dilemmas. One person, two people. Raise your hands. What am I pointing to here? To demonstrate the actualities of their dilemmas. What is Chief Joseph's actuality? What's the actuality of his dilemma? They're dying. What's the actuality of Chief Joseph Bruchac's dilemma? Nobody's recognizing their literature. Chief Joseph does. Okay, so no, remember, when you're doing the textual analysis, you have to compare and contrast. You got to talk about both. I'm talking about both by using this kind of signal phrase. While Chief Joseph both use blah, 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 am I showing here a comparison? They're similar, or a contrast? They're different. They're the same. Now watch. CJ does so, don't do that, does so in order to help his people literally exist. Go back to notes with go deeper. Literally exist. What am I showing here?
They're dying.
They're dying. He's trying to have it so they don't die. They literally exist. Okay? Whereas, oh, keyword here, whereas. What am I showing? Am I doing compare? They're similar. Contrast, they're different. Contrast. Notice how I'm hitting both. So, in order to help his people literally exist, whereas JB works to assist his fellow Native American writers to exist in recognized expression. Tell me, where am I hitting here with Joseph Bruchac now? When I say, go back into, it says, to assist his fellow Native American writers to exist in recognized expression. Where should I point my finger? Here.
Non-existent?
Yep, Native Americans are non-existent. In what, though?
In literature.
Literature, okay? Now, notice, you're like, Ms. Forrest, okay, like, go deeper. Like, the first section, go deeper. Where do I plug in my sentence? Do I plug, is one part one sentence, one part another sentence, or do you mesh it?
Mesh it?
You mesh it. And that's why I think it'd be neat to kind of record this, because then you can go back and go, okay, where did she mesh it? And that's where you're going to have higher level thinking, where you're going to have to go, okay, how does it fit? I can't give you a formula. There's no formula for this. All right, let's keep going. I sentence. You're going to intro. During CJ's era, oh, what am I talking about here? In my go deeper, what am I talking about?
Time period.
Time period. During CJ's era, settlers were annihilating Native Americans. Okay? Tell me context. Tell me to point. Where am I pointing? During CJ's era, settlers were annihilating Native Americans. What am I pointing to? Young dead. Okay? And he had to sit and watch as many young and helpless died to the government. Pausing. Where am I pointing?
U.S. government.
U.S. government. No, notice I'm hitting who he's talking to. Okay? U.S. government, who only saw the Native Americans as a threat. And not a threat. Okay, who only saw, U.S. government, and they only saw them as a threat. What am I pointing to in my go deeper?
Existing viewpoints.
Audience's existing viewpoints, exactly. Okay. Then the next part it says, and not the fading people they were. Now what am I pointing to? Doesn't want to fight. So that's his purpose. Bless you. Okay. So in the I sentence, what am I doing so far? I'm hitting the context, exactly. And am I talking about both of the pieces of literature or just one?
Just one.
Just one. You try to cram it all in, it's too much. Okay, so I decided I'm just going to talk about one at a time. Now here's my signal phrase. CJ hopelessly tells the military, blah, blah, blah. Now notice I didn't just say tells the military, makes the statement, argues. What did I insert in front of what he was doing? Another, it's an adverb. It's saying how he does it. Why do you think I did that? What was I trying to get across here?
His feelings?
Yeah.
His feelings, exactly. Okay, now, next sentence. Here, he elucidates, elucidate means like explains, expands. Here, he elucidates the repetitive fact that the Native Americans have died for the general, have died in order for the general to recognize the loss Native Americans face and sympathize with their surrendered sense of helplessness. Okay, I want you right now, we're going to be quiet for a minute or two. I want you to look and tell me, because I see some of you, you're there, you're participating. Some of you are like, I just rewatched the video. It's going to be on Facebook. Okay? So I want you to look at the A sentence, and I want you, in your head, point to, where is it the A sentence, what am I hitting? What would I point to? I'm not going to say it for 2 minutes, and then you're going to tell me. I'm not going to say it. And if you need to move up closer, we can all huddle together and get Kumbaya AP class.